In this video, we're going to show you how we got the best livestock guardian dog for our homestead and how you can do the same. If there are 9 adorable little puppies, does it really matter which one I pick out of the litter? If so, how do I pick the right one? Or what is the list of specific characteristics I'm looking for when selecting my puppy? At the end of the video, we're going to let you know the 3 major things you need to make sure of before buying your pup to ensure you have a great livestock guardian dog for years to come. Imagine you are running a business and you need to fill a position. You gather a bunch of resumes and start poring over them to see which person has the right skills, leadership abilities, and will fit into your business culture the best. It's very similar in picking your LGD for your homestead. You'll be putting in lots of extra hours to train this new employee for the first year or 2. So it's important to do your research and determine what attributes you're looking for before you make your final decision. There's something called an aptitude test that dog breeders will do to better understand the unique characteristics of the puppies in a litter. It's like a resume for the individual puppy. However, this resume is not necessarily how the dog's temperament will be when he fully matures. An aptitude test is mainly used to indicate the young puppy's tendencies, their likes and dislikes, and how they react to different situations that the breeder may introduce them to. You as the owner will still need to train your puppy towards the characteristics needed to protect your farm for years to come. Now that you know a few more details about the aptitude test, you can see how it can be a valuable tool when picking a puppy for your specific situation. For example, let's say one of the attributes you're looking for is a dog that might be easier to train to electric fencing. An aptitude test might indicate if a dog reacts as sensitive to touch, which may make them easier to train to electric fencing, and also easier to leash train. Whereas a pup that doesn't score as sensitive to touch on the test may be more of a challenge to keep contained if he won't react to a shock as much as the other puppy would. This test will also help with training early on, because it can provide you with some kind of idea of the temperament of the new puppy that you've just brought to your farm. This will be helpful so you know what you're up against and can work on curving his behaviors towards what you're looking for. I can tell you from our experience, the training process is not easy. We picked Leo because he scored as a highly sensitive pup, meaning he would be easier to train to electric fencing, which has proven to be true. We also picked him because he showed very little to no play or prey drive, meaning he would be a good candidate to be protecting poultry or other small animals. And even though we picked a puppy that seemed like a good candidate for our homestead setup, we still had to put in hundreds of hours of training him and working through challenges as he entered his adolescent years. In general, you'll want to make it as smooth of a process as possible for you and your LGD, so using whatever tools you have to look for the right characteristics for your property, your livestock, and your family will set you up for success. Make sure to stay till the end of the video where we tell you the 3 most important characteristics every guardian puppy needs to have. In order to pick the right dog for your homestead, we have to first figure out what you're looking for in an LGD and what his main responsibilities will be. What unique situations are you planning on putting him in? What livestock is he going to be living with? Will he live on your property or at someone else's property that you lease? Will he need to be accustomed to being around lots of visitors, small children, or elderly? Do you plan on trying to contain him with electric fencing? What about leash training? Will you need him to learn basic commands so you can easily bring him in the car to stores or the veterinarian office? Really think through these questions and come up with the attributes you would find helpful for your puppy to have that you can encourage through training. For instance, if he's going to be living out in the pasture, whether that's off property or even just out of sight of your house, you may consider choosing a more independent dog that will be more confident to handle situations on his own. Or, if you ultimately want him to live with poultry or small animals, you may want to look for a puppy with as little prey or play drive as possible, because inevitably, chickens are great squeaky toys to a young pup. It comes down to you asking yourself these types of questions and then taking time to really think through the answers. This can help pinpoint the characteristics that will match the role you want your dog to fill on your farm. If a breeder does not offer an aptitude test or doesn't provide you with much information on the different puppies' temperaments, you could ask if they allow you to visit the farm where you could meet the puppies in person. This might allow you to have a little better insight if you're able to observe how the puppies interact with you, their litter mates, the livestock they're living with, and just their environment in general. You could also look up puppy aptitude tests online and even try a few of the exercises on the puppies during your visit, with the breeder's permission, of course. Ultimately, though, there's not a specific list of what to look for in an LGD due to every situation being so different. However, I believe if you are committed to the training process, You can get almost any dog to where you need him or her to be, no matter what the aptitude test indicates. It just might be more difficult than it needs to be if you selected a dog at random and didn't consider what personality type might better suit your farm. At the end of the day, what I would recommend is to go into this with a mindset of making the best decision you can, and then being confident that your new guardian dog is going to thrive if you are dedicated to the bonding, growing, and training process over the next several months. And finally, here are the 3 things you absolutely have to make sure of before picking your livestock guardian puppy. Aptitude tests, temperaments, and personality types can all be beneficial information, but in my opinion, it's not the most crucial thing. The major things you're looking for when selecting your dog is to make sure the puppy's parents are both working LGDs. Ideally, the litter will live with the parents up until you bring your puppy home because they learn so much from watching their mom and dad interacting with the world in those formative weeks. Another major thing is puppies need to be raised with livestock from day one, preferably the types of animals you plan on having your LGD protect. Exposing them to livestock throughout those early weeks will be crucial in desensitizing the litter to the sights, sounds, and smells of farm life, better preparing them for when they make the transition to your homestead. And the third thing that I would highly recommend looking for is making sure the breeder you're adopting a puppy from is making it a top priority to socialize the litter every day, meaning they are having the puppies handled often by adults and children, and are exposing them to different noises, environments, and experiences as much as possible. All of this will produce well-rounded, level-headed dogs that aren't fearful of the world around them and are able to trust humans completely. Check out this video to see our puppy Leo during his first couple months of integration on our homestead and his training progress.